Hello, SummerRae. Just checking out your chart here. And the first thing that I see is you have Capricorn rising. Now, people with Capricorn rising, they often come across as serious, okay? Not too jokey. That's the first impression that someone may get of you. You tend to be composed, mature, responsible. You think it's very important to be grounded. Capricorn rising people are often very ambitious. They set goals and they achieve goals, and that is their life view. They often have a lot of self-control, a lot of self-discipline. If they go on a diet or something like that, they take it very seriously, and they often win. They're usually the ones to win a weight loss battle. They're usually the ones to stay on a diet and really make a lifestyle change. So they are natural overcomers, basically. As far as the way they dress, do their makeup, do their hair, if it's a female, they are usually understated. They don't usually have a loud style. They usually are attracted to clothes with clean, classic lines, rather than a lot of ruffles and frills. And the colors are usually muted. They don't tend to wear really bright colors. They would be like the exact opposite of a Sagittarius rising, for instance, like Elton John. They usually have really strong bones. They usually have really defined facial features. And when they talk to you, they're not the type of people that look around the room like they're distracted. They're focused on the conversation, and they have a calm demeanor about them, usually when they're having a discussion, even if it's an argument. And a lot of times, some of the things that they do will amaze other people. Like, you think of the goat that's on the mountainside, and you're like, how did that goat get there? And how is that goat getting down? And people are probably thinking the same thing of you when you accomplish some of your feats. They are usually probably pretty amazed by some of the things that you are able to accomplish. You're very strategic in your life approach. You're all about climbing the ladder, so to speak, in whatever it is that you do, whether it's homemaking or a career, it doesn't matter. You're going to climb the ladder. You're going to have a systematic approach. You're going to take it seriously, and you're going to accomplish goals. When it comes to relationships, the view of a relationship is a big part of your identity. You do have trouble opening up. You can be hard to read. You could like somebody or love somebody and they might not even know it, because you're going to show it not with, hearts and flowers and Valentines and things like that. You're going to show it by being loyal, steadfast, and stable. And so, I think it's a great rising sign to have. And it also encompasses your 12th house, because your rising sign is in the earlier degrees, if I'm not mistaken, of Capricorn. And so, of course, the ruling sign of Capricorn is going to be Saturn. And so people might associate you with being a realist, and having kind of a tough outer shell sometimes. And so they'll kind of see you as a challenge, So to me, that is what it means to have Capricorn rising in your chart. And whenever Mars or Pluto is squaring your ascendant, especially the very degree of your ascendant, you might want to take more care in physical activities or driving or something like that. You could possibly break a bone when you have Pluto and or Mars in a harsh aspect, which would be like a square, a semisquare, an opposition, a conjunction to your ascendant. And so now I'll get on to your second house. Now, your second house starts in Aquarius at around 15 degrees. And also, your second house includes Pisces. And even though you don't have any planets in these houses, okay, the qualities and traits of Aquarius and Pisces are going to infiltrate your second house. And of course, the second house is about, it's the underlying natural ruler is Taurus and Venus. And so, because of Aquarius being in the second house, you could have sort of a unconventional relationship with money. You might feel that your freedom is more important than money sometimes. So you might be the kind of person who, I know a lady that I used to work with that had this placement, and she had a job that paid about $40 an hour. And she took a job that paid $6 less per hour, which is less material comfort, because that job allowed her more freedom. And you might do the same thing because you have Aquarius in that second house. You may earn through technology. You may benefit financially from technology, creative innovations, humanitarian work. These people are original, intelligent. They stand apart from the crowd. The only thing about this placement is sudden financial ups and downs, sudden gains and losses happen a lot when it comes to having this placement. You could get something very valuable stolen from you, and it could happen through the internet, like bank fraud and things like that. You could be more prone to that sort of thing. So, be really careful with your passwords. Be really careful the kind of information you give out. Try to do as much financially as you can without putting your information online because of this placement. You also have Pisces there. And so you could actually have valuable things that are connected to creativity, spirituality, and you value things like compassion and emotional connections. You may be able to earn through art or music, healing. And so when you have this placement, you may be deceived somehow in the areas of money and possessions. So you have to be careful about that. And this deception may come from minorities because Pisces rules minorities. I'm not saying be afraid of minorities, but you just have to be careful about that sort of thing and your possessions and your money. So just really take care when you have these kind of placements in your second house. I'm not saying that bad things are going to happen to you, but with these placements in your second house, you have to be a little more careful. Double check the details of things like deeds and titles. Maybe even have an attorney look it over before you sign something really important. I know everybody's like, well, everybody should do that. But with these placements, even more so for you. Now, Pisces and Aries is ruling your third house. So, what we have to do when two signs are ruling a house, or even three, I've even seen that, is we have to blend those energies. And if there are planets involved, we have to include that into the blend. But you don't have any planets in your third house. And so, when you have a third house straddling Pisces and Aries, um, you're okay. Pisces is more of a dreamer, and Aries is more of a doer. So you are a combination of both. Um, you kind of switch between compassionate and assertive. And this can be confusing for your siblings if you have any. And so this combination is a poet, of course, that's the Pisces, and the pioneer, that would be the Aries. So I think this is a good combination to have in the third house when it comes to dealing with third house matters. And of course, third house matters are things like communication and the way you think, your siblings, your neighbors, your early education, your short trips, your learning, your immediate environment, that sort of thing. And so, probably when you were small and in school, teachers probably noticed that you dreamed something up and then you tried your best to accomplish it. You might have not always been successful, but they probably did notice that of you, and your siblings probably noticed that as well. They probably went to you for help because they saw that ability in you, and people like neighbors and others that are in your immediate third house environment probably do the same, because that's something that's really easy to recognize about a person. And everybody doesn't have that quality of dreaming up something and then making it materialize, or at least trying to make it materialize. And I would say the motto of this person is probably, you tried and failed. Congratulations, at least you tried, you know. And so I would say that that sums up having Pisces and Aries in the third house. So now I'm going to move on to the fourth house. Now, the main theme of having Chiron in Taurus in the fourth house is we all have an inner wound, and it's connected to something. And for you, it's about safety, self-worth, and belonging, especially when it has to do with home and family. And so get-togethers are probably important to you. That can't be said of everyone. And of course, Chiron is about your deepest emotional wound. Okay. And Taurus, of course, deals with the throat chakra as well. And so you need to be able to speak what you feel in order to heal your emotional wounds. And if you're having difficulty with this, I would recommend like a turquoise necklace, having turquoise around the throat. You might find that that may help. The energy of turquoise can help in these matters. A lot of people that are into crystals have basically put that out as information time and time again. And so when I see somebody wearing turquoise around the neck, I think that they probably have this placement. It may not always be so. It could be some other Taurus placement, or another Chiron placement that makes it difficult for them to express themselves, but it may just make it easier for you to express yourself. So if you do that, if you happen to wear a turquoise necklace or something like that, and you happen to notice a difference in how you speak, um, and whether or not the way you speak is healing, I'd love to hear about it to see if that helped you as well. Um, when it comes to your Chiron wound, it has to do with security, stability, and how you value yourself mostly. It's going to be tied to your family roots, your childhood, your emotional foundations. Basically, all fourth house matters. And the in the early life, you may have had a lack of emotional security or physical security in your childhood. Um, it may have been something that wasn't visible to others, only you. There may have been times when you felt like you weren't seen, like other family members didn't value you. You may have felt like the middle child or the redheaded stepchild. At times, this can happen when it comes to Chiron in Taurus in the fourth. You may have felt like you had to earn the affections of others in your home and earn your worth, that sort of thing. You might have had problems feeling at ease in the home when you were younger. And so now that you're older, of course, you have control of these things and you have the ability to make it different for your children if you have them. And so people with this placement need basically a home that's safe and grounding and beautiful in whatever way that your taste dictates. And with Taurus being there, I'm going to assume that your decor is probably traditional, maybe even antiques, things that are comfortable. You're probably not the person that has the Asian Oriental home with the hard square lines and things like that. You probably have furniture that's more comfortable, rounded, maybe leather or leather accessories, things that you would associate with Taurus, which is mostly comfort. So now I'm going to move on to your fifth house.